Hello, today I'm looking at a Peugeot. This one has got the BMW Mini engine in it. It's a petrol engine, and the problem with it is, there was two problems. First one, when I got told about the car, it wasn't getting hot inside the car, and with a little bit more information, it was a case of if you stop, the car slowly heats up inside the car, or the temperature gauge slowly goes up as well, and as soon as you start driving it drops down and it goes colder in the car. So immediately I thought, stuck open thermostat. The second fault, then I was going to look at the car and they said there's another problem with it now, and that was that the stop sign came on the dash and the temperature went right up to max. So when I checked the car, there was no fault codes with the OBD, but there was a fault code with the Peugeot side of the scan tool. So first thing I did was I wanted to know why it doesn't like the temperature sensor. It's actually fine on the car. So I went to the temperature sensor and checked that. So the temperature sensor's down here, right there. So by back probing on those two pins, I've got a good ground, and I've got 2.8 on the blue wire. The blue wire is 2.8 when it's cold, and the grey one was 0 volts, and this lit up green, meaning it's got a ground. So I was happy with that. I couldn't understand why the car doesn't like the temperature. I looked at it and I'll tell you what the fault code was. So no sensor in OBD, it was 2.9 volts, 19 degrees on the scan tool temperature, and the fault code was signal fault of engine coolant temp sensor consistency 0119. So it's P0119. So here's the fault code was P0119. Signal fault of engine coolant temperature sensor consistency. I also had in the BSI a 7155 coolant temp sensor. No faults in the EOBD. There was no faults in that. Both saying it's about 19 degrees, which is probably about right. When I checked at the sensor, it was 2.9 volts cold. Now I've started the car. Every time I started it, it would say stop up there, and the temp gauge would go right up to the hot, right to the red. All I did was clear the fault code, because looking at live data, the 19 degrees on here looked okay, and the signal 2.9 volts cold. It's gonna go down to about half a volt in this case when it's hot, right? So we shouldn't be getting the fans coming on now. I couldn't see why the fans were coming on, so I thought I'm gonna clear the fault codes. So it's like once it's learnt there's a fault with the temperature, it just puts the fans on when you start it and they don't go away. So I think that might not be that bad of a thing to worry about. It's slowly warming up to 52 degrees. You can feel the hoses and they're getting warmer, both of them. So I would say the thought of the temperature sensor, the thermostat is stuck open, 25 on that one and 31 on that one. I think it is open. We wanted to get one getting hot and they're both slowly warming up. So we need a thermostat. For whatever reason, that must have gone faulty. Better put the cap back on. It's a little bit overfilled. I didn't put any in. I don't know if they added any coolant, but that was a little bit lower until I started the car. I'm hoping the head gasket's not gone and something like that. I didn't see any bubbles in there. And because it was saying it was hot when it's clearly not, it could just be a fault here. Not too worried about that now. And the wires are okay right the way to this. Remember, this volts comes all the way from the engine ECU, and it might be once it logs a fault on this, it might just be then it keeps the fault code there until you erase it. But yeah, that's getting warmer. So is the bottom one. I would say thermostat's stuck open. I'll change the thermostat, which is right there, which will come with a coolant temperature sensor as well, and that should fix the car. That's all it needs. It's just weird. I thought it was interesting. Interesting in a way that why is the fans coming on and why is it telling you to stop when it knows it's cold? Maybe you need to look at the live data, and also an OBD code reader wouldn't have told you any fault codes. I was wondering why it was on. Is it a fault with the fan relay, something like that? It's not. It's deliberately putting it on because of the coolant temperature, consistency with the coolant temperature. Fault with the thermostat, it's not heating up the way it would expect it to heat up. I think that's the actual fault with the consistency. It's not heating up because the thermostat's stuck open. So a new thermostat on this and I think it'll be okay. Anyway, just thought it'd be interesting. Fans stuck on all the time. Thanks for watching. If you ever want to prove it's a stuck thermostat, you can almost make your own like that. You've done the same job as a thermostat. Just put a clamp on a hose and you should see the temperature starting to raise the way it should do. Obviously you can't drive around like that. It was just for the purpose of diagnosing, seeing does the engine now warm up any quicker. So if we give it a few minutes, that should start to go up, and that's what we're looking at. Giving it a few minutes, that'll go up, and that'll prove that a thermostat, before you buy one and put one in, this will prove that that's going to fix it. I think because this wasn't going up the way it should do and staying there, it was going up and down as the car was driving. The air hitting the radiators cooled it down so that would drop, and it's just not liked what it's seeing, and it's flagged a fault code. It can't believe what it's seeing, so that's why we've had to reset it. I don't like to reset it all the time until I fix the fault, but in this case I've just done that to prove that a thermostat's going to do it. So that's what I'll do. I'll put a thermostat on, and if there's no more to show you than this, there's no more to add to it. But if there's anything else with this after fitting the thermostat, I'll continue the video. Hopefully it's helpful to somebody. Your fans are stuck on all the time, and the coolant temperature sensor seems to be doing what it should do. It's deliberate. It's in the programming. It's deliberately putting the message on the dash. Doesn't mean there's a fault there at the moment. It's just because it doesn't believe what it sees. Thanks for watching.